let me in, yeah.
Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here, and we are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we're going to be discussing Lewis Hamilton and whether he will be staying at Mercedes or not, because there's a strong chance that Lewis Hamilton will not be at Mercedes for the 2021 season. Now, we all know Lewis Hamilton as one of the best Mercedes drivers they've ever had. He's a 6-time world champion. He's a 5-time champion of Mercedes. Mercedes are a 5-time champion themselves. 5 or 6-time champions, I think. Hamilton would actually have 7 championships if it wasn't for that 2016 season where he lost to Rosberg, and Rosberg ended up retiring after that. Now, ever since 2014, Hamilton has been a loyal supporter of the Mercedes AMG F1 team. But things could be very, very different coming into the future, because there's been a thing going around that Toto Wolff, the team principal at Mercedes F1, could be leaving. And if Toto Wolff happens to leave Mercedes, there's a very strong chance that Lewis Hamilton will leave Mercedes too. Because Toto and Lewis Hamilton have a very strong relationship, and they both really... I'm pretty sure Hamilton loves Toto Wolff, so... yeah, if Toto Wolff leaves Mercedes, that's going to be really big for them, because that means they'll lose their team principal, they'll lose the best driver, and how would that look? I mean, you have Bottas there. Bottas is hot and cold. You got a very good driver academy. We got George Russell, you got Esteban Ocon. So you got guys that have the potential to replace Lewis Hamilton if he actually does leave, Mercedes, but which of those drivers are actually going to be very much like Lewis Hamilton? Because Lewis Hamilton's one of the greatest drivers in F1 right now. He's definitely the best F1 driver right now. Now, if Lewis Hamilton happens to leave Mercedes, what are the teams that he can go to that will, give him a good relationship and give him the best chance to win his 7th championship and tie Michael Schumacher? Because right now, in real life, it does not look like he will tie Michael Schumacher, so Michael Schumacher will keep that record for at least one more year. Now, when it comes to the obvious options for Lewis Hamilton to go to, the most obvious option right here is Ferrari. But would Ferrari take Hamilton? Yes, they would. Can you imagine having Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc on the same team? Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc on the same team. That rivalry would be absolutely fantastic. But there's also another option that you guys have been thinking of. There actually is another option that you guys have been thinking of, and it's quite obvious. The option that you haven't been thinking of, and if you guys hear the noise in the background, my neighbor's doing something, so I don't really know. But another option that could be on the cards is McLaren. Imagine Lewis Hamilton going back to McLaren and winning his 7th championship. Because the way McLaren is going right now, things look to be very good. McLaren will have Mercedes engines next season. McLaren are a very, very good driver lineup. And let's say Carlos Sainz wanted to leave, or you have 2 Brits on a team, or you definitely have to have Lando Norris on that 2021 team. Lando Norris is such a great guy. You have to have him on that McLaren team. So let's say Lewis Hamilton replaces Carlos Sainz at McLaren, and McLaren's one of the best cars coming into 2021 with the new regulations. Hamilton winning his 7th championship with the team that he won his 1st championship would be an absolutely great story. So when it comes to the teams that Lewis Hamilton go to, there's only 2 options for me. The obvious option is Ferrari and him replacing Sebastian Vettel and him joining Charles Leclerc, and then when Lewis Hamilton retires, they have Mick Schumacher replace Lewis Hamilton. Or you have Hamilton go back to McLaren. McLaren are gonna race Mercedes engines, but if McLaren can keep improving from where they were like a couple years ago when Fernando and Jenson Button were there, I mean, they improved last year. They finished 4th. So they could continue on from this improvement this season and then improve better next season. There's a very strong option that Hamilton could be joining McLaren. But all things right now, it looks like Hamilton will be leaving Mercedes. I mean, the big thing is, if Toto Wolff stays, Hamilton will probably stay. because Hamilton hasn't really. He signed a new contract. I think it was last year, or he signed an extension last year. So it was like a 1 or 2 year extension, but I think it was only up until this season. So if Toto Wolff does leave Mercedes, that's going to be huge for Hamilton. He's not going to really have like his team boss that he trusts so much, and Hamilton will probably look at some better options. I mean, he's done everything he can to win at Mercedes. The only thing he has left to do is beat Michael Schumacher's record, and he would probably think that would be a better option to do in a Ferrari, considering Michael Schumacher did have those records when he was in a Ferrari. So if Lewis Hamilton really does want to leave Mercedes, that's completely up to him. I'm just saying that if Toto Wolff does leave, Lewis Hamilton will leave, and Lewis Hamilton most likely will probably go to Ferrari and beat Michael Schumacher's record of 91 wins and 7 championships, or at least tie the 7 championships. He's for sure going to beat that record of 91 wins. I think he's 7 wins away from Michael Schumacher's record right now. And yeah, that's not, in terms of F1 races, and Lewis Hamilton, the way Lewis Hamilton is as a driver, yeah, that's not that much for him. So I honestly don't want Lewis Hamilton to leave right now, because I feel like he's a perfect fit at Mercedes. But like I said before, he has done everything he wanted to do in a Mercedes besides beat Michael Schumacher's record. But does he feel exhausted to be with Mercedes, considering he's been there since 2014? He's been there for 6 years. He's won 5 championships for them. He's won, 5 or 6 constructors titles with them. He's won a lot of races with them. He's got the most poles in F1 now. So what is there left to do for him at Mercedes? I think it's time for Lewis Hamilton to move on to a new adventure with a different team and try and go on and beat Michael Schumacher's record. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.